shreddier guitars. So we'll see if we can get warmed up and shred away. Join me. Vibrato is really not working out for me, so maybe start with that. Slow it down a little bit. I often start way too fast and then realize I have to fix it. Wake up the membranes, that's true. It's important. Slower, and then move up to maybe G minor or something so we get less of a stretch. That's good to start out. That bad note. So G minor pentatonic now, but 3-note per string for most part. Chinese riff. You're right. Too fast still, it's not a good starting tempo. If my head was a potato, you'd fry me with a nose. I like it, man. Thanks, man. So I'm using hybrid legato now. So you can see I'm using pick and legato. That's important because that allows me to completely focus on the left hand. because otherwise it's easy to get lost in the picking, and this is difficult as it is, you know, for the just for the fingering here. So hybrid legato is cool. You can see my, and if you have problems playing hybrid legato, it's kind of important to not do like a pick wrist movement. Try to pick using a thumb joint movement. Because if you move the wrist, then your hybrid fingers will also be all over the place. If you just move like that, then your hybrid fingers can be stationary. And that's kind of the key here, you know. I have my finger kind of prepared to play on the next string. So, can you see I'm picking? But even though I'm picking, my hybrid fingers can still stay here. Can you guys see my hand? Should I maybe do this? Bertrand, what's up? Oh, learning new stuff. That's awesome, Carl. That's the spirit. I'm also learning new stuff. You know, it's a never-ending journey. Of course, when I'm playing like this, not only am I warming up, but at this tempo, I actually have a chance to practice my cleanliness. So in other words, muting the unwanted strings, and also my hand sync to get best possible connection between both hands. That was not good, but you know, to really get a good tone there. Cliffs of Dover, yeah, it's a classic. Guest, you like it? Thanks, man. This is a Solar A1, and this was some octave licks there. So playing octave on the 15th fret A string to the 17th fret G string. And I do that with always hybrid picking, you know, it's extremely helpful for this kind of thing. And then we have... Major 7. Marian, what's up, my man? Cool, you like the tone. So this is my pedal board through the Fender Junior, the Blues Junior. Dumbuk, my man, with the custom avatars, I like it. Or the custom emojis. Thanks, man, for supporting me. So Dumbuk is a member of the channel. That's why he has these exclusive emojis, which I've done myself with the use of AI. Man, I wish I could play that well. Thank you, MGuest. So as you can tell, this is not so much about speed, but it's about control, right? So make sure you don't have any noise ringing out. Like that. So you constantly have to mute with the side of the hand here, and also with the lower part of your finger here. So what I was referring to was muting the strings that are not currently being played. And I've been practicing this stuff for decades, but if you're new to it, you're gonna have to be even slower to make sure that every note is noise-free and that the connection between left and right hand is good. So in other words, you hit the string at the right time, and also that you fret preferably close to the upper fret wire. I mean, that's usually where best tone is found, and it's especially evident when you're playing down here. Yeah, exactly. I'm not strictly playing like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2. It's mostly 16th notes, but as part of practicing, mixing different beat subdivisions is extremely useful, right? Because in music you don't want to hear. That gets boring pretty quickly. So that's why I'm doing. Mixing a 16th note triplets, basically any note value you can think of, and just combine them to your heart's content. It doesn't even have to sound good, because I'm kind of practicing now, so it's all about finding variations. So maybe 1 out of 10 will be cool, but that's okay. I'm not performing, I'm practicing. Rammstein, yeah, Mittwoch.
Mittwoch, mein Deutsch ist schlecht.
Thanks, man, for remembering that tune. As soon as you start experimenting, that's when you run a risk of messing up. But that's fine, you know. Without experiments, there's no new music happening. So G minor. G flat diminished 7. Soon back to G minor. So now we have C minor. Now E flat major arpeggio. Can't speak and play at the same time. Try to play a little bit outside. That was hard. Crazy Guitars, what's up, my man? So let's try some picking licks and maybe mix that in with the arpeggios we've been doing. Slow here, but the idea here is that once we can kind of speed up this kind of playing, it'll sound pretty damn good, as opposed to just sitting there and trying to, you know, push the speed limit. See, I think that practice is kind of worthless, you know, it doesn't really help. What I'm doing here is awesome for coming up with new stuff. It's improvisation friendly, and I think it's the best technique practice, because I'm really trying to simulate how it would look when I play fast, so that all those picking movements are going to convert to the higher speed, you know, with small picking movement, efficient left hand, hopefully, and control of noise. Are you in the US or? Okay, trying to go between pentatonics and arpeggios now, that's the challenge. I messed up. Nabi, what's up, my man? True. At the end, it's all about the expression we can get out of the guitar. Exactly. I mean, my philosophy has always been that whatever inspires you to play is going to be your closest path to expression. I mean, if this is what you want to do, then you should do that. There's no point in doing something just because you think that someone else told you that that's going to make you play with more feeling or something. If you're feeling like shredding, then that's your feeling, right? And there are 1,000 different ways you can weave in that shred with like traditional lines if you want to have it more melodic. Whatever. Need to practice it though. I don't know any Slipknot. Kavogi, what's up? Tip shaft. Exactly. You can be very expressive with speed. You know what you're doing. So here I'm doing a bit of alternate picking arpeggios, which can be a challenge. So it's like one note per string alternate picking. It's not very fast though, but it has a nice tone to it. Some sweeping as well. So right now I'm doing like alternate picking while ascending, and then sweep picking. You can do that, right? So mix the two of them. String skipping arpeggios. Yeah, I do a little bit of that. This kind of thing. It's a bit noisy. Need to practice it. This is string skipping arpeggios. It's not that clean though. Dr. Ease, good morning. How you doing, man? How to practice octave playing. So, doing good, Ease. Thanks, man. So is that kind of the octave playing you were thinking about? So like moving. So if that's what you were thinking, then grab any scale. So it could be your E minor pentatonic, and for each note you try to play an octave, and I use hybrid picking for that. So you just gotta find the next note of the same pitch in the scale. So that'll be the next octave. So you're gonna have to spend some time figuring it out, right? So we have E, let's play them. Then we have G, let's play them. Then we have A, and we have A, let's play them. We have B, and we have B, let's play them. And then when you put it together, you got... Filling your shorts with amazing guitar videos. Thanks so much, man. DMR Oborotan. Thanks so much. Okay, so let's see if we can play some pedal note licks without messing up. So those are the licks where you constantly repeat one note, like. So doing. It's good practice and a little bit tricky. Sorry, don't know Toby Pake. Toby Paul, Toby Pake. Don't know what it is. Careless Whisper, can't play it. Can't get enough of those arpeggios. I'm trying to play outside without messing up, so a bit jazzy fusion. Ooh, the fast lick. Which one was that? So, yes, if you want to get tabs, of course, you have my courses and the membership here on YouTube. But what I did, I'm not sure exactly what, but here's a very useful thing that I think a lot of people get wrong. So if we're in the key of E minor, you know, when people want to learn that kind of thing, it's like, yeah, I have to get really good at picking. But it's worth noticing here that I'm just doing 1, 2, 3. A lot of times it's just 3 pick notes or 2 pick notes, and then just as many non-picked. So in other words, pick, 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 pull off, pull off. So there we had 3 pick notes and then 2 pull offs. So 1, 2, 3, pull off, pull off. So when I'm doing, let's take that one. Sometimes I'm just moving around like one thing on one string, right? Same lick, it's the one I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then move. So it's like a 16th note triplet lick, actually, but it's 1, 2, 3, 5, and then you move. So the 6 is going to be the movement, right? Anyhow, this is just from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the pattern, and then I move it around like an E minor or E harmonic minor. But if you look at my right hand, it's going to look like I'm picking every note, right? You can't really tell. So that's why I think a lot of people miss this, you know? They think, okay, damn, that looks hard. I have to get really good at picking. And getting really good at picking is the most difficult task there is on the guitar. So you're doing yourself a favor if you realize early on that even the best players out there, like Yngwie Malmsteen, Guthrie Govan, like very technical people, they rarely pick every note. There are exceptions, like some licks are easier than others, but if you look at their playing as a whole, I would say a good 50% is definitely legato and hammer-on pull-off. That's how you get around the tricky places. So that would be my number one advice. If you want to get into shredding, get very good at left-hand stuff, right? Because you can't rely only on the pick. That's not only is insanely difficult, but the picking is a bit moody, I would say. Some days I have a good picking day, and some days I don't. So, I need to be able to play regardless of whether it's a good picking day or not. So. Okay, I can pick today, okay, but it might be much better another day, or some days it might not work. So yeah, legato is the thing. But as I was saying, if you want tabs of the licks on the channel, just become a member, or, you know, there are lots of options. You can get my courses, which are, you know, they're like bigger, right? You have the whole picture. But if you just want the tabs, membership is a good place. I have Patreon and that kind of stuff. So lots of good, fun stuff to digest. I'm kind of crappy at tapping. Let's practice tapping. So that's too fast, right? If you're crappy at something, then you gotta practice slowly. And that was, you know, beyond my ability. Half of the notes were missed. It's not something you wouldn't want to practice that way, because you're just really kind of consolidating some really bad habits there. So better way would be this, right? Not quite as exciting, but that's how you learn it. And I mean, I've still been practicing tapping for years and years. If you're new to it, it's gonna have to be slower and less complex. Let's switch to E minor. I'm a bit more comfortable with it. Let's mix it in with some arpeggios. Just that was a bit boring. Times the good techniques are gonna, or the cool sounding runs rather, are gonna come through from a combination of techniques. So if you just practice picking, just practice sweeping, it won't really sound, I think, to its fullest potential until you actually start mixing those techniques, because then you get something more unpredictable, both in terms of notes, but also in terms of tone, right? Because these techniques, they sound very different, and that's why we spend a lot of time learning, maybe, I don't know, strict alternate picking. I mean, that's something you would do for the attack. Whereas with legato, maybe that's something you learn for the smoothness of it. So again, when you start mixing them, that's when you can start getting interesting combinations. Dr. E's, so do I practice a specific way for building speed? This is also a absolutely huge topic. So I would follow, maybe if I were completely new to this, I would follow a strict set of exercises. But the way I do it now, after decades and decades of playing, I wouldn't say is that relevant unless you're like in the same position as me, or in the same learning phase as me. But I do all sorts of mixes now. If I've identified a problem area, like I don't know, some pick, usually some tricky picky combination, like ouch. That was difficult. Then I might do like that kind of exercise. And if you're completely new to the instrument and you haven't really figured out, the small movements for building picking speed, you might also do like a separate small exercise. But then as soon as you start getting the basics down, you might want to start doing more. You might want to expand, right? You're not helping yourself if you're sticking to like a super tiny exercise for years and just try to get good at it. It's a matter of constantly adding to what you already know. So that's why I was saying the phase I'm in is not maybe that helpful. You have to kind of build from scratch, and depending on where you are there, you're going to do different types of exercises, and of course what you want to achieve as well. Some people don't want to be able to improvise, they just want like a few licks that they can use in their solos, and that's going to require a very different set of strategies as opposed to what I'm doing, which is really freedom on the fretboard. So all my practicing is not only about mastering the techniques so that they sound good, but also so that I have freedom with them. I don't just want to be able to play them in 3 different ways. I want to be able to combine them at will, which is difficult and which is like a lifelong project to do, but that's also the challenge. So that kind of thing, even though the patterns themselves are certainly not improvised, the way I combine them was actually improvised. So there's a little bit of improvisation in there, although a majority of it is still muscle memory. Same thing with this one. And then of course the hard part is getting out of it alive. Yeah, sounds like a good plan there, Dr. Reese. Something like that, and just make sure you're playing in time, make sure you're playing clean, and try to maybe find a lick that sounds like something you would want to play, like it's you think it can basically sound cool, So maybe not. I mean you could do like that's fine as well, if you just need to get started, but as soon as possible I would try to find some lick that sounds okay, Work on something that has potential. Ouch, I ventured into other stuff. I'm sorry for shamelessly plugging my stuff, but I have a course called Smart Practice, which is one of the biggest courses. It's all just kind of get you going step by step all the way along with exercises and like a practice routine. Exactly. That the accident thing is all I'm looking for. The happy accidents are really good, when you improvise and practice. Sometimes the best licks are going to come from something you didn't play intentionally. It's like, whoa, what was that? And then, you hone in on it and you try to repeat it and make it part of your bag of tricks as opposed to just a lucky accident. Haha, the never-ending lick. That's it, maybe. I mess up all the time trying to play outside. Oh, I nailed it, thanks. So I'm basically trying to throw in like random dominant 7 arpeggios that are completely outside the key. And then just see if I can naturally go in and out of those. It's hard, but that's the sound of outside, you know? Midi, of course you gotta practice more guitar. We all do. I don't know Alex, sorry man. Let's do something more rock oriented. So only doing downstrokes now, just to get a bit more of attack and get away a little bit from that kind of shit. Can you see me? When YouTube heard about death metal, just can you see me? When YouTube heard about death metal, just killed the connection. Sorry, don't know Bohemian Rhapsody, or I knew it back in the days. Do you have any tips on how to learn positions of the notes on the neck? As for me, I have a problem when I play in a non-A or E key and I find notes only by ear. I can't play fast or follow the chord. Yeah, I mean, you really have to go back to how did you learn the E and the A key? You know, there lies your solution. And usually it's all about spending time with licks, riffs, and just do stuff in those keys. So if you practice on a regular basis, what I did, and I still do to a certain extent, was always pick a new key so that you don't get stuck in E and A. And actually, these days I always find keys, tonal centers that are like 1 or 2 steps above those common ones. They sound the best, like F, F sharp, awesome. Or like maybe B and C is a good one as well. And D, just anything that isn't E and A. So what I'm doing now this is how you do it, but with a different key. I don't know of any other way. There's no easy ways of just mentally transposing everything. You have to get everything used to it. Your eyes, your mind, and your fingers, and everything just to the different positions. But you can be smart about it and maybe choose D as your first key to master, because it's common, right? If you down tune to drop D, it's pretty common. And then you might want to go for some other keys, and eventually you should do them all. You know, A flat, C sharp, and maybe the not so common ones. But let's see if we can go between some kind of rock licks and some of the shreddy stuff. That's nice, right? This is cool. So this is a good application, I think, of all the speed stuff. It starts to make sense. Let's do this some more. Trick is to go back and forth between it seamlessly, so it doesn't sound like, oh, check this out, I know a shred lick. So I'm doing MIDI, I'm doing D minor pentatonic now, basically, D blues, and trying to add some shred to it. Good, some more. Let's do the speed lick only. So I'm trying to play this. That was not good. Sounded a bit hesitant when I came from the fast stuff, so do it some more and see if we can make it sound natural, the transition between. It's all about, if you can get out of the fast stuff and sound like you're in control, then you've made it. Just because you can play the fast stuff really well, that does not help you if you don't end it well. It's on the contrary, actually. That kind of stuff is really, the alarm bells are ringing, you know? Someone plays really fast, but then it just ends in a fart or something. So, and half of the time I did end with a fart here, so let's do some more. Of course, this is still very practice oriented. If it were like part of a song or something, you would want the whole thing to end. I'm still just so it's practice oriented. But you know, if you would definitely do something, maybe, I don't know, like, to make it sound more like music. But it's still just practice now. Hey guys, how you doing, man? If you don't look, yeah. If I'm just in one position, I know where the stuff is. But as soon as you start moving around, you're gonna have to start looking. At least that's how it is for me. But in one position, I should be okay. I can do a little bit of moving. Let's try it. But if you really want it to sound cool, then we have to start introducing silences. That's really when you start transitioning from something that's still just a boring exercise to something that starts to sound a little bit like music. Bravo, good. Thanks so much, man. I think it's a Hebrew username, but it's a long one, and I have no chance of pronouncing it. Let's try it. Right? So it's the same thing here. The silences should also start. Play your thing, and when you're done, it's like, I can do whenever I want, I'm done. But that's not the case. You have to stop in time as well. Thank you, Eggichu. Now, of course, it can only get so good when I have the most boring drum beat in the history of guitar in the background. It's never going to sound really cool, but at least on the playing part, you're doing things right now. You're introducing silences, you're introducing dynamics, you're introducing different types of beat subdivisions, you're mixing techniques. You're doing it by the book, right? So you just need a good backing track, and then you need to somehow choose when to do this in a tasty way. But that can also be practiced if you start playing over backing tracks. But I don't like doing it here on YouTube because you get all these copyright strikes and that stuff. Even if I use the backing tracks on GMC that I produce myself or with the other instructors, I can still get some weird copyright strikes. You know, someone thinks they have they have the right on a 12-bar blues that sounds a specific way. It's silly, so I'm just doing these. Sinusad, your fingers are short. That's not a problem. Randy Rhoads, lots of short-fingered guitarists. It has not so much to do with, you know, it can still sound up here, good up here, right? And here it's very close, right? You don't have to be down here and do that, right? You can do it up here and it still sounds good. So finger length doesn't have anything to do with it. It's the other things that matter. So here, it's a very different kind of practicing, still using the arpeggios I've been using for an hour now, but the phrasing is totally different, right? I no longer do that kind of more like warm-up oriented. Now it's more like a burst, and practicing doing that burst in time. So again, it's a different kind of practice, right? You're never going to be able to do this, you know, just by practicing the You have to constantly tailor your practicing to the end goal, right? And most of the time you don't want to be doing this. I mean, it can be fine for a few bars, but you want more stuff happening. So you're gonna have to practice more stuff happening. So for example, I failed. And there we had the legato stuff, which we worked on in the beginning, right? So instead of, I was started out doing this kind of thing, right? And that might sound a little bit boring, that's just a boring exercise. But again, it comes to life when you start to... At least to me, that's how I want to use them. I don't want to be doing this. I mean, that's perfectly fine to, warm up and to figure things out. But if you spend 90% of the time doing that and 10% of the time doing the speed burst thing, you're still just most of the time going to be playing the arpeggios in a boring way. So you have to, as soon as you master something, you have to adapt the exercises so they sound more and more like how you want the end product to sound. That's what I was saying. That's why I was saying that, the way I practice these exercises is not that relevant to you unless you're in the exact same learning phase as me. So you constantly need to kind of adapt the exercises to where you're going and where you're at, that's key. That's why you can't just grab someone else's generic exercise without understanding it in context. Why is that exercise useful to him or to her? Well, that's because it was the perfect thing to do in that learning phase. And that's why I'm trying to give you a bit of the background information here, right? Because this is the kind of analysis you have to do in order to come up with effective exercises for you. Because, it makes a world of difference if you choose one that is adapted for where you're at and one that's just you got randomly out of the internet without analyzing. Oh, it sounds like rap. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do some talking now for you guys. I'm gonna tell you the way you're gonna practice all things. It's gonna be so cool, yeah. I wish I could rhyme, but I can't do it in time, cause I'm gonna practice rap now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some rappy shredding for you now. Let's do, I think I have R&B, so maybe that could be a bit hip-hop-ish, I don't know. No, it doesn't sound like hip-hop. I was in a live stream, I kept playing all this stuff, and then this dude came up to me and said, "Oh man, you sound like hip-hop." So I started playing all my lines over some beats. I started doing all my explanation. Oh man, that beat was really crappy. Or not crappy, I was crappy over that beat. Oh yeah, I can do the explanations in time. You wanna hear it like they're rapping it. My mother tongue just ain't English, so I'm struggling with this. But that's okay, cause I gotta work on it. Gotta mix the lines. Gonna mix the lines with some talking for you guys. Let's do some shredding and some talking. Oh yeah. Too many notes, too many lines over the beat. Yeah, that's a fun idea. I got warm from doing that. It's just twice the effort involving the brain, That was never a problem Now that I'm on the wrong side of 40, it's like you only have so much energy, and then it's like, oh man. But I don't remember if that were the case in when I was younger, or maybe I just wasn't conscious about it. I just didn't notice that my energy had run out a long time ago, and I was just yeah, I don't know, going like on autopilot or something. Anyhow, there you have it. Some hip hop rapping. Okay, so it's been an amazing session. We had so much fun. We even did some hip hop explanations. Wouldn't have thought that. But I really want to wish you good luck in your learning path, and I hope this has been useful. You know, it's in the end, it's all a matter of your devotion. That's what matters. So if you really want it, you can do it. So thanks for watching. You've been amazing, and I've been KristoferDahl. Hope to see you soon again. Cheers.